If you want to target large trophy trout, bass, and northern pike, you need to be fishing streamers. Streamers are the largest flies in the box, and they imitate those big trout foods. Crayfish, leeches, minnows, panfish, the big foods that the big fish want to eat, those are all imitated by streamers.
They are intended to be actively fished, and that means we are casting them out and aggressively stripping and retrieving them back towards us. This category is named for the large strips of rabbit fur, feathers, or other materials that wave or stream behind the pattern as we draw them back through the water.
In this video, we're going to show you the different types of streamers available in the shop, and we're going to break down some of the verbiage and terminology we use in the fly fishing world to describe these streamers, the materials we use to tie them, and how they're going to act in the water. Finally, we're going to show you how each of these types of streamers act in the water using our flow tank, so stay tuned. Maribou is a type of feather that's very soft and is grown next to the breast of the turkey. It is going to move and flow, kick and flip in the water, and we're oftentimes going to tie this into the tail or wrap it around the abdomen of our streamer type patterns. This pattern is called a Conehead Muddler minnow. The Conehead is this metal cylindrical bead that's going to help this pattern sink, and this is a very traditional type of streamer tied to a straight shank hook with deer hair and some sections of turkey quill. It's not going to be quite as active as some of our Maribou, zonker, and articulated streamers, but it's going to be really resilient, really tough, and can catch a lot of fish before it gives up the ghost. Zonker is another common term applied to streamers. Zonker refers to the leather strip of rabbit or squirrel hair with the hair attached to the back. And in the water, these strips of hair and leather are going to flip and kick in the water. These zonker type flies are often used to imitate both minnows and leeches on the water. Articulated streamers are the most active and realistic when swum through the water. They gain that extra realism by creating a hinge point. There are multiple hooks typically tied into your articulated streamers. This articulated streamer has 2 hooks, but they can have up to 3 hooks tied in succession. This hinge point is created by a loop of line or cable that allows this streamer to kick and flip through the water, similar to a real baitfish trying to avoid a predator. It's very common for a number of our streamers, as well as a number of our nymphs, to have weight tied into them in the form of dumbbell eyes, bead heads, or cone heads. For these aquatic patterns and streamers, we want them beneath the surface of the water or close to the bottom of the lake or river to imitate where those natural prey species live and spend their time. Dumbbell eyes are usually made from tungsten or lead and get their name from their shape, like a dumbbell or an hourglass. Bead heads are made out of brass or tungsten, generally have a fairly small profile, a little lighter in weight than our dumbbell eyes, but they're going to get that streamer or nymph closer to the bottom of the river, and that's where we want our wet flies. That's where we're going to be successful. The final type of metal weight that we will see are our cone heads. They get their name from that cone head-like shape, that cylindrical shape. There's a little more weight in that cone head than the bead head, a little less than our dumbbell eyes, but they're aerodynamic, and we're going to see these oftentimes tied into our streamer type patterns as they're pulled and stripped through the water. So if you're looking for some explosive action on the water, you really want to go after some of those bigger fish, try tying on some streamers your next trip to the river or lake. If you need some streamer patterns, please visit us at ascentflyfishing.com and we will be happy to hook you up. Tight lines.